Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel today. Hope you're all doing well. I want to talk about a little bit about the start of the Civil War in America. I think it is a very popular subject. I think it's people have a lot of interest in it. I know a lot of folks have visited the different American Civil War sites like I have. I think it's a pretty interesting topic, and I think people people think many times that it all started because of slavery, and slavery was a big part of it, but it was also about states wanting to do their own thing. So, kind of the whole United States and what the purpose of the United States was. So, if you think about it, the American Civil War, it went from 1861 to 1865, and it erupted primarily due to irreconcilable tensions over slavery, and also, but it also, it was something that's been intensifying for decades between North and South, not just about slavery, but also about states wanting to do their own thing. But you have to think the South's economy relied heavily on enslaved labor for cotton and tobacco production, and the North was increasingly opposing slavery expansion into the Western territories as the United States, moved farther west, and they viewed it as a moral and an economic threat to free labor. So, so political compromises. There was the Missouri Compromise of 1820 and the Kansas-Nebraska Act of 1854. Now, they delayed the conflict of the Civil War, but it ultimately failed to resolve the core dispute over slavery's westward expansion. And when Abraham Lincoln got elected in 1860, of course, he was a Republican who greatly opposed slavery's expansion to the West and signaled to the southern states that their political influence and economic system were under existential threat. And so this prompted seven southern states to succeed, forming the Confederate States of America. So this is kind of where the divide started. So but things have been building for quite a while up at this point, and so the immediate catalyst of the war occurred on April 12th, 1861, when Confederate forces attacked Fort Sumter, and that was a federal garrison in South Carolina. And that was after Lincoln refused to relinquish it, galvanizing both sides into an open conflict. And so historians agree that states' rights, economic differences, and it all comes down to money, right? Slave labor was, that was, economically how the people thrived, and so. But it was all about economic differences, different states' rights on what they wanted to do themselves versus being, forced into what the federal government wanted. They wanted to be able to do their own thing, and slavery was definitely the big cause in the end, as far as wanting to expand west with more slavery. And so that's when the southern states, declared their own, government, to which, in order to preserve slavery and wanting to do their own thing. Just a great amount of divide in the